Elizabeth Holmes was a bright young woman with a bold idea. She dropped out of Stanford University at age 19. She wanted to revolutionize healthcare, her goal to make blood testing faster, cheaper, and less painful. In 2003, Holmes founded Theranos. The company promised to run hundreds of tests on just a few drops of blood. This vision captivated investors and the media alike. Holmes became a Silicon Valley star. She was hailed as a visionary. Theranos technology seemed too good to be true. The company claimed it could detect diseases like cancer and diabetes with a simple finger prick. This had the potential to transform healthcare. Patients could avoid painful needle sticks. Doctors could diagnose conditions earlier. Investors poured billions of dollars into Theranos. The company's value soared. Holmes became the world's youngest self-made female billionaire. She graced magazine covers. She was invited to speak at prestigious conferences. The future seemed limitless. However, beneath the surface, there were problems. Former Theranos employees began to raise concerns. They questioned the accuracy of the company's technology. They alleged that Theranos was misleading investors and the public. Whispers of doubt grew louder. Journalists started investigating Theranos. The Wall Street Journal published a series of articles exposing the company's alleged fraud. The articles revealed that Theranos's technology was flawed. Many of the tests it offered were unreliable. The revelations sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley and the healthcare industry. Federal agencies launched investigations into Theranos. The company faced lawsuits from investors and patients. In 2018, Holmes and her former business partner, Ramesh Sunny Balwani, were indicted on multiple counts of fraud. The trial became a media sensation. The world watched as Holmes's meteoric rise turned into a dramatic fall from grace. Section 5. The Price of Deception. This chapter delves into the dramatic and highly publicized trial of Elizabeth Holmes, the former CEO of Theranos, whose rise and fall captivated the world. The trial lasted for months, drawing intense media scrutiny and public interest. Each day brought new revelations and insights into the inner workings of Theranos, a company once hailed as revolutionary. The jury heard testimony from former Theranos employees, investors, and patients. These witnesses painted a picture of a company that was deeply flawed and a leader who was willing to go to great lengths to protect her vision. Holmes took the stand in her own defense, a rare move in such high-profile cases. Her testimony was a mix of defiance and vulnerability as she sought to convince the jury of her innocence. She maintained that she had believed in Theranos's technology, insisting that her intentions were always to improve healthcare and make diagnostic testing more accessible and affordable. She denied intentionally misleading anyone, arguing that any missteps were the result of overambition and a genuine belief in the potential of her technology. However, the jury ultimately found Holmes guilty on 4 counts of fraud and conspiracy. The verdict was a significant moment, not just for Holmes but for Silicon Valley and the biotech industry as a whole. She was sentenced to more than 11 years in prison, a stark contrast to the life of luxury and innovation she once led. Her sentencing marked the end of a saga that had fascinated and horrified the public in equal measure. Her story became a cautionary tale about the dangers of ambition, deception, and the cult of personality in Silicon Valley. It serves as a reminder that even in the world of high-tech innovation, ethical boundaries must be respected, and the truth must always come first. Section 6. Life Behind Bars. In 2023, Holmes began serving her sentence at a federal prison camp in Texas. This facility, known for its minimal security, houses non-violent offenders. Despite its relatively lenient environment compared to maximum security prisons, the transition was anything but easy for Holmes. The stark reality of confinement, the regimented daily schedule, and the loss of personal freedom were immediate challenges she had to face. She left behind her 2 young children. The emotional toll of this separation was profound. Holmes had always been a hands-on mother, deeply involved in her children's lives. The thought of missing out on their milestones, their first days of school, birthdays, and simple daily interactions weighed heavily on her. The pain of this separation was a constant reminder of the consequences of her actions. In her first interview since her imprisonment, Holmes described prison life as hell. She spoke candidly about the harsh realities of life behind bars. The lack of privacy, the constant surveillance, and the rigid routines were a stark contrast to her previous life as a high-flying entrepreneur. She mentioned the difficulty of adjusting to the prison's communal living conditions and the challenge of finding a sense of normalcy in such an environment. She expressed remorse for the failure of Theranos. Holmes acknowledged the pain and disappointment caused to investors, patients, and employees. She admitted that her ambition and drive had led her to make decisions that she now deeply regrets. Her remorse was palpable as she reflected on the impact of her actions on so many lives. However, she maintained that she never intended to defraud anyone. Holmes insisted that her intentions were always to revolutionize healthcare and make diagnostic testing more accessible and affordable. She claimed that her vision was genuine, but the execution was flawed. This assertion has been met with skepticism by many, but Holmes remained steadfast in her belief that she never set out to deceive. Holmes spoke about the pain of being separated from her children and the challenges of adjusting to life behind bars. She described the emotional struggle of being away from her family and the difficulty of maintaining relationships from within the prison walls. Despite these hardships, Holmes expressed a determination to use her time in prison to reflect, learn, and hopefully find a way to make amends for her past mistakes. Section 7. Finding purpose within prison walls. Despite the hardships, Holmes has tried to find purpose in prison. She works as a clerk, she teaches other inmates, she advocates for criminal justice reform. Holmes has spoken out about her experience with sexual assault. She has become an advocate for survivors of abuse. She hopes to use her platform to help others who have experienced similar trauma. Section 8, A Future Clouded by the Past. Holmes is scheduled to be released from prison in 2032. It remains to be seen what the future holds for her. She will carry the stigma of the Theranos scandal. She will likely face significant obstacles in rebuilding her life. However, Holmes has expressed a desire to continue working in healthcare innovation. She believes that she still has something to contribute to the world. Section 9, Lessons from the Theranos Saga. The story of Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos is a complex one. It's a tale that has captivated the world, not just because of the scale of the deception, but also because of the personalities involved and the high stakes of the healthcare industry. Elizabeth Holmes, once hailed as the next Steve Jobs, promised to revolutionize blood testing with a simple finger prick. Her vision was compelling, and it attracted millions of dollars in investment from some of the most influential people in the world. It's a story about ambition, innovation, deception, and the consequences of unchecked greed. Holmes' ambition was boundless, and her innovation seemed groundbreaking. However, beneath the surface there was a web of lies and deceit. The technology that was supposed to change the world was flawed and unreliable. Yet, Holmes and her team continued to promote it, putting patients' lives at risk and misleading investors. The Theranos scandal serves as a cautionary tale for Silicon Valley and the business world at large. It underscores the dangers of a culture that often prioritizes rapid growth and innovation over due diligence and ethical considerations. In the rush to be the next big thing, fundamental principles of honesty and integrity can sometimes be overlooked. It highlights the importance of transparency, accountability, and ethical conduct. For businesses, especially startups, these values are not just buzzwords but essential components of sustainable success. The Theranos Saga reminds us that without these principles, even the most promising ventures can crumble. It's a reminder that even the most promising startups can fail, and that the pursuit of success should never come at the expense of truth and integrity. The downfall of Theranos is a lesson in the importance of maintaining ethical standards and the potential consequences when those standards are compromised. It serves as a stark warning to entrepreneurs and investors alike. Innovation must be grounded in reality, and success should be built on a foundation of trust and honesty.